All right, today we're going to dive into the core ideas from Tobogo Magalego's book, Positioned or Replaced. It's a really powerful guide for making sense of the quiet, but, absolutely massive shifts that are happening in our economy. So let's jump right in.
You know that feeling, right? That little sense of unease, like you're working harder than you ever have before, but it feels like you're running in mud. You look around and on the surface, everything seems okay, but deep down, something just feels off. Well, here's the first big takeaway from the book. You're not imagining it. That feeling is real. This wasn't some sudden dramatic crash. No, it was a quiet, almost invisible process where the fundamental rules of the game just changed, while we were all just trying to keep our heads down and work.
Okay, so let's really dig into that feeling. What exactly was it that changed so quietly? See, this wasn't like those recessions we've seen before, with the loud headlines and the panic in the streets. The book describes it as more of a pause, a moment where the entire system just kind of held its breath and recalibrated itself. It was less of a collapse and more of a collective, quiet hesitation. And here's what that actually felt like for people day to day. It felt like money just stopped moving. Big decisions at work pushed back again and again. You were putting in all the hours, but the promotions, the raises, that feeling of moving forward, it just felt stuck. Making any kind of progress was just plain exhausting.
So let's pull back the curtain and look at the economic shift that was causing this feeling, because there were some very real mechanics at play under the surface.
And this brings us to a key concept from the book called hidden liquidity. Here's the thing. The money didn't just vanish. All that capital was still out there. But it went into a defensive crouch. It got cautious, it retreated from risk, and it basically went into hiding, just waiting for a clear, safe signal before it would move again.
And this is exactly why this whole period felt so weird and so isolating. Past slowdowns were these loud, shared crises. Everyone knew the story, right? We were all in it together. This time, it was quiet. It was behavioral. Instead of widespread panic, there was just this hesitation. And because there was no big story, we all internalized the confusion, thinking, wait, is it just me?
Now here's the paradox that makes this whole era so unique. While the economy was basically hitting the brakes, technology didn't get the memo. It just kept accelerating. AI, automation, new software, it all kept getting smarter and faster, creating this huge divide between the people who are positioned to use it and, well, everyone else. So, in this brand new landscape, what does opportunity even look like anymore? Well, the book argues it's definitely not some stable platform you can climb onto. It's something else entirely.
And this one quote from the book just nails it. That old strategy of, just waiting for things to calm down before you make a big move, that's over. Today, the only way to catch an opportunity is to already be in motion. That's because opportunities are now like these little windows. They are these temporary, perfect alignments of timing, money, and tech. They open up super fast, and guess what? They close just as fast. They reward speed and being in the right place, not patience. And this is why just standing still is so incredibly dangerous now. It has a compounding cost. When you wait, first, your confidence starts to erode because you're not getting any positive feedback. Then, your relevance starts to fade as the world just moves on without you. And maybe most importantly, you lose your optionality. Your freedom to choose your next move gets smaller and smaller.
So, this brings us to the book's central argument, the real heart of it. It's about what truly separates people in this new economy. And I'll give you a hint. It isn't just about working hard anymore. The book draws this really sharp line in the sand. On one side, you have what it calls visible labor. That's the classic model, right? Just work more hours. But on the other side, you have invisible leverage. This is all about building systems that work for you, where one single action can produce results again and again. It's the difference between being measured by your time and being measured by multiplication. So, for decades, the question we were all taught to ask ourselves, the main metric for success, was all about effort. How hard am I working? How many hours did I put in this week? But the new question, the one that really defines your position in this new world, is this. What is multiplying my work? Is it a system I built? A piece of software? Is it a unique skill? A brand? A platform? Because if the answer is nothing, then your effort is just standing all on its own. And that is a very, very vulnerable place to be.
And this all leads us to the fundamental choice at the very heart of the book. It's really a fork in the road for how we need to think about our careers and our skills from now on. Think about your skills in two different buckets. In one bucket, you have skills that age. These are the skills that are tied to a specific process or specific tool. Their value goes down over time as technology changes. But in the other bucket, you have skills that compound. These rely on judgment and interpretation. They transfer across different jobs, and their value actually goes up as the world gets more complex. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about things like making good decisions when you don't have all the information, understanding how all the pieces of a system fit together, being able to learn new things incredibly fast, using communication to get everyone on the same page, and seeing patterns that other people just don't see. These are the human skills that technology makes more powerful, not obsolete. And this, right here, is the ultimate mindset shift. The fear isn't about a robot literally coming to your desk and taking your job. No, the real risk is just staying put in a role that has been structurally hollowed out by all these new systems and slowly becoming irrelevant with ever getting a pink slip. Which brings us right back to that final powerful question from the book's title, and it's the one we all have to ask ourselves, honestly. In this new, fast-moving economy, are you actively building a position for yourself based on leverage and skills that compound, or are you just standing still, waiting to be replaced by a system that has already moved on?